In this sport, you don't wait for judges to decide your fate. TenexToken puts you in control. Stake instantly, speculate discreetly, and keep your moves private. TenexToken. Play smart, play discreet.
This is Joe Pugh for IFLTV. We're here at Sheffield, kind of location unknown. We're not going to reveal the fight hotel. Might get all sorts of riffraff coming through your autograph, Frank, yeah?
I mean, I'm sure with AI these days, someone could take a picture of the screen and find out where it is within seconds, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, we just done an interview with Dave Allen in front of the hotel. So, but yeah, we're in Sheffield.
Not exactly rocket science, is it?
Well, if people were going to go to that amount of lengths to find out where we are, I'm sure they would have just found out where we are anyway.
I think people already know where we are, to be honest, mate.
Right, we're at the Mercure in Sheffield, ahead of a huge fight week between Dave Allen and Allen-Makhmudov. Frank, did you ever think 12 months ago we'd be here headlining Sheffield Arena with Dave Allen?
No. I mean, look, I said it in the press conference, and I'd say it to Dave 2 years ago, 2.5, maybe 3 years ago. I didn't think Dave should box again. When his name was coming up as a opponent for certain fights, I said I don't think we should do it, because he, at that point in his life, he wasn't applying himself to boxing like you need to. In a sport so dangerous, you need to be 100% in it, and I don't think Dave was then. I think he'll admit that, and I think, you see him now, he's in the best shape of his life, mentally he's in the best place of his life. And I was talking to him up on the stage, and I didn't realise he's 33. I'm 33, but I feel like Dave's been around for so long and been such a key voice in the sport, and a big personality, that you sort of think he's got to be nearly 40. He's 33 years old. And when you look at the age of fighters now coming to the peak of their career at later stages, especially in the heavyweights, 37, 38, 39, Dave could go on a crazy run here. Dave has every opportunity to go into the biggest fights in the heavyweight division, which, would I have said that 2 years ago? Would I have said that a year ago? No.
Is this an example to any fighter that you're only ever 2 or 3 fights away from the big time? I know it's heavyweight division, so it's slightly different, but even so, any fighter can take kind of great momentum from what Dave's done.
Yeah, 100%. We're in a fickle sport, as I said, and I never wrote Dave off because I didn't think he had ability. I sort of thought with Dave it was more a case of his head wasn't in it, which he wasn't. But we are in a mad sport where anything can happen, and if you take opportunities, you take chances, and you apply yourself 100%, there is no limit of where you can get to. And that's what we'll see with Dave Allen. He's got a tough fight. And respect to him as well. He's taken a test in a guy in Allen-Makhmudov who is a knockout destroyer, 19 wins by knockout. He's about 7'9", he looks, or that's what he looked like when I was looking up at him earlier in his leather jacket. Looks like a Bond villain.
Everyone's saying that.
Yeah. I mean, it's a real fight, and that's what we're here for.
I know you can't say, if Dave wins, he goes into an AJ fight and fights of that magnitude. But if Dave does put on a full performance that we want him to put on Saturday night, does he insert himself into maybe a top 5 shortlist for an Anthony Joshua fight?
No, but I think he inserts himself into a fight against any of the top 10. And also not just necessarily as an opponent. Like I said earlier, if any of the other top 10 British heavyweights were fighting Makhmudov, active British heavyweights, take Fury and AJ out of the mix for now, were fighting Makhmudov, would they sell as many tickets as Dave Allen has sold? I don't think so. I think Dave's got huge commercial value, huge character, and puts himself in a position to go in against any of those guys in the top 10 if he can win on Saturday night.
Think he wins Saturday night?
Yeah, I do. There's just something about him right now, like he's been in there in the ring against the best over the years, and he's been in there sparring over the years against the best, and he's got so much experience, and I feel like he wouldn't look. He had an option. He had easier fights he could have gone with, but he wanted the toughest test. And I think it's because he truly believes in his ability, and his ability when he's given 100%.
Undercard. Padley Bellotti, first of all. That kind of come from nowhere. Not many people talking about Reece Bellotti. A tremendous run up until the Garner fight. Fair to say a proper 50-50?
Yeah, look, I think Padley has got. I think Padley's probably favourite. I think you'll see a better Reece Bellotti than you saw in the Garner fight. Garner put on a great performance, but I think Reece realises this is, he's got to win this. He's got to win these kind of fights. And Josh Padley can set him up for a huge 2026. We saw what he did, stepping in at last minute notice against Shakur Stevenson, changed his life that night, and then has gone on to change his career to get big opportunities, and he will get those if he comes through on Saturday night.
Boston for Waz too. Long time coming, this one. We see even today at the face-off, there's certainly unfinished business there, and that will certainly translate into the ring on Saturday.
100%. I think you're seeing a much more calm, composed Janae Boston, which is showing maturity of age. I think if you would have seen him a year or so, I remember when he fought on the undercard of Sonny Edwards and Bam Rodriguez, and he had a tear up with his opponent at the press conference, or I think it was the press conference of the weigh-in. Like, you're seeing a much more composed Janae Boston. I think he knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to go and deliver a big performance in there on Saturday night, and I think that's what you'll see. He's a brilliant fighter, and fair play to Bilal Fawaz, because it was a great fight the first time round, but he's also sold it. That's what he does. He's an entertaining character, and you get more fights off the back of this because people buy into it.
Just run down the rest of the card. Ibrahim Suleiman, Hamza Udin, Conor Tudsbury, Joe Hayden, Joe Howarth. It's stacked kind of from top to bottom, but it shows the development of Sheffield boxing, which I know alongside Dalton Smith you've been trying to build for a very long time now.
Yeah, 100%. Hamza Udin's first title fight as well, which excited for that. To see him out there. Ibrahim Spider Suleiman, Joe, all of the guys. It's a great card from top to bottom. So it's what we want to do. We want to deliver great cards, young talent coming through, building them up on big nights. And it's going to be packed out, nearly 10,000 in there on Saturday night as well for this show.
A couple of days passed now since the mega announcement of Ben Whittaker. I know you expected it to be big, but did you ever think it would be this big, the amount of attention it's getting?
Honestly, yes, because I think he is. And I said it before, I said I felt he was the biggest commercial property, free agent out there, and whoever got him, was going to be huge. And we got him, and I think Ben Whittaker together with Eddie as well, I think they're going to be an unbeatable pairing. We got a long-term deal together, but I honestly think we'll work together for the rest of his career. I think he can become a superstar, not just in the UK, but a superstar on a global scale. I think he's got every attribute, both inside the ring and outside of the ring. He gets it, and it's going to be a fun journey, and he's a pleasure to work with. And I always felt like the time would come, and here we are.
The star quality, the talent is unquestionable for Ben Whittaker. Is there a part of you though, when you do sign on the dotted line after 4 years of nearlies, is there a part of you that thinks, yeah, I've got one up on Shalom there?
I've said it time and time again, and I don't hide my feelings towards him. I'm not. It's not like I've sat and never lied about anything with him. But if you're in this business led by emotion, you're in the complete wrong business. So if your decisions are based off of, get one over on someone. No, the reason we signed Ben Whittaker is he's a tremendous talent who can become a superstar of the sport, and we believe we can take him there. No more than that. I'm sure it hasn't gone down great. But every decision we make is about our business and doing the right thing, and something we believe in, because it's a long-term partnership. We're not doing it just to get one over on someone.
We were just talking about Ben Shalom. Will there be more fighters leaving his stable regarding whether it may or not have in the contract Sky Sports and everything that goes on with the TV contract?
I think if fighters' contracts are up, I know Vidal Riley's contract's up. I've spoken to him. I've had a meeting with him. Interested in what's possible there. But we've got limitations as to how many fighters we can work with because we've got to deliver for the fighters we've got contracted to us. But it's not directed at. It's just if fighters don't get an opportunity somewhere and their contract's up and they've got appeal, then of course we'll always look at them, as will every promoter.
Just last one. Ghana. Could it happen this year?
Could Ghana happen
this year? Yeah. A fight in Ghana, or a fight in Africa for AJ this year?
I mean, look, AJ will wait and see what happens. I think you'll see a fight in Ghana this year. We're working on a few bits now. AJ's still working through what the next steps are. But look, anything's possible. But I'm very confident you'll see a fight in Ghana this year.
What did you make of Johnny Nelson's comment saying he wants AJ to retire?
Look, Johnny Nelson knows a lot more about boxing than me, but we've all made calls, haven't we, over the years saying fighters should retire. I said it about Dave Allen. I said it about my mate Derek Chisora, who I love, and to go on see what he's done. So, ultimately, the only person who knows whether it's time to retire is the individual, And I think so many times we would have got that call wrong, And look, AJ could come back and become unified, undisputed heavyweight champion.
How many fights in the UK from Matchroom are we going to see? How many more fight nights this year after Saturday night? So you got next Friday, and then how many?
3 or 4. Just working through it now.
Whittaker definitely out this year.
That's the plan. 14. I think in 14 months he'll have 4 fights. So it's good.
Frank, thank you very much. Took your time, a little bit longer time, but that's the White Rhino effect for you. Thank you very much.
In this sport, you don't wait for judges to decide your fate. TenexToken puts you in control. Stake instantly, speculate discreetly, and keep your moves private. TenexToken. Play smart, play discreet.